Yes, the boys and the girls, the guys and the gals. I am currently in Lichfield, and I'm just literally now walking back from Prince Rupert's Mound. So, without further ado, let's get into it, guys.
Just off Beacon Street in Lichfield, on a gentle slope overlooking the cathedral, sits a low earthwork that many people walk past without noticing. It doesn't look particularly dramatic today, but this mound is one of the most important surviving pieces of Civil War history in the city. This is Prince Rupert's Mound. The mound dates back to the English Civil War, a conflict that began in 1642 between the supporters of King Charles I, known as the Royalists, and those who supported Parliament. During the Civil War, Lichfield became important because of the Cathedral Close, which was heavily fortified and could be defended like a small fortress within the city. Because of that, Lichfield became the scene of 3 separate sieges between 1643 and 1646. And Prince Rupert's Mound is connected to those sieges. Now, the mound itself is relatively modest. The flat platform at the top measures roughly 12.5 metres by 17 metres, and the earthwork rises to just below 2 metres above the surrounding ground. The soil used to create the mound was dug from the ditch that partly surrounds it, forming a raised artillery platform. Its position was chosen very deliberately. From this point, anyone standing on the mound has a clear line of sight towards Cathedral Close. In military terms, that made it an ideal location for placing artillery. Cannons positioned here could fire directly towards the fortified cathedral area during the siege. The mound is traditionally linked to the Second Siege of Lichfield, which took place between the 8th and the 21st of April 1643. During this time, the Cathedral Close was being held by parliamentarian troops under Colonel Russell, following the earlier capture of the close during the First Siege in March of that year. In April 1643, a Royalist army arrived outside of Lichfield led by Prince Rupert of the Rhine, the nephew of King Charles I and one of the most prominent Royalist commanders of the war. Prince Rupert had already built a reputation as a bold and aggressive military leader. He was particularly known for his fast-moving cavalry and his willingness to use decisive tactics in battle. When Rupert arrived in Lichfield, his objective was clear: retake the Cathedral Close for the Royalist cause. Royalist forces surrounded the close and began attacking its defences. Artillery was positioned on higher ground overlooking the cathedral, and the mound that survives today is believed to mark one of those artillery positions. But cannon fire alone was not enough to force a surrender. Instead, Rupert's engineers used another tactic: military mining. Tunnels were dug beneath the defences of the close, and explosives were placed under the walls. And when these charges were detonated, they blew a breach in the fortifications. With the walls damaged and Royalist forces pressing the attack, the parliamentarian garrison inside the close eventually surrendered on the 21st of April 1643. Prince Rupert's victory restored Royalist control of Lichfield, and the Cathedral Close remained in Royalist hands for the next several years. This is the moment in the city's history most closely associated with Prince Rupert's Mound. The mound marks one of the positions from which artillery could be directed towards the cathedral during the siege. It formed part of the ring of military earthworks that surrounded the close during the fighting. However, historians also recognise that the mound may have been modified or reused during the Third Siege of Lichfield in 1646. In that final siege, parliamentarian forces under Sir William Brereton captured the city and once again laid siege to the Cathedral Close. During this operation, several artillery mounds were constructed around Lichfield so cannons could be aimed at the Royalist defenders inside the close. Because of this, it is possible that the mound we see today was either built during Prince Rupert's siege in 1643 or later strengthened during the siege of 1646. What is certain is that this earthwork was one of the last surviving pieces of the Civil War battlefield around Lichfield. Archaeological finds from the area include lead musket balls and fragments of old bullets, physical reminders of the fighting that once took place here. Today, Prince Rupert's Mound is protected as a scheduled ancient monument, recognised as a nationally important historic site, and although the city around it has changed dramatically since the 17th century, the shape of the mound still preserves the outline of a Civil War gun position, a place where cannons once stood overlooking the cathedral, a place connected to Prince Rupert's siege of Lichfield in April of 1643, and one of the last visible traces of the moment when this quiet cathedral city became part of a national civil war.